Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Nathan Batchelor, and I will be your host today. I'm also joined by the co-founder of Biyond and my business partner, Burkan. He'll be conducting the second part of the webinar, and I'll be conducting the first part. So before we begin, I'm just going to read through a brief disclaimer. Please feel free to read along as well. Biyond Trader LLC is strictly a research publishing firm. Information we publish is based on our opinions plus our quantitative models, statistical and financial data, and independent research. This service is not registered with any regulatory agency such as the SEC or any other organization or governmental body. By using our platform or our services, you acknowledge that we do not provide personalized recommendation or advice. Alternative asset classes are volatile investments and carry significant risk. Please do your own research before making any financial decisions. Okay, so on today's agenda, obviously we're going to be talking about Biyond and everything that's associated with it. And during that part, I'll let you know a little bit more about my trading style and how I come about my analysis, and probably a little bit of more about me. And after that, I'm going to pass it on to Burkan, and he's going to talk about the quantitative framework, i.e., some of the indicators that we've got, and maybe that'll help you understand them a little bit better. He'll also be telling you about some of the recently added features to the platform again, and that's going to enable you to understand the platform a little bit better, especially if you're a new user or perhaps you're not as experienced in cryptocurrencies or trading. And he'll also be telling you about some of our exciting upcoming features that we're going to add on the platform. Obviously, we're all about trying to add value. So a little bit of an overview of Biyond. Who are we? So Biyond is obviously a market intelligence platform. And I guess our vision is to create indicators and a marketplace for people to come on and access very, very high quality analysis, which is going to give you an edge in the market. And you can also see what a real professional trader is doing as well. And obviously, Burkan continues to develop some really great quant indicators that can enable you to make better trading decisions. A little bit about me. In another life, I was a Forex trader for a hedge fund. I could talk about that, extensively, but I won't go too much into that. I'll just say that around about 2016, 2017, I started to become very interested in crypto. It was the right time to move out of the Forex market because the ranges and the trading were becoming very boring. And I was becoming more and more interested in trading cryptocurrency. So I joined a firm in New York called Simtree, and there I was the head Bitcoin trader and analyst. And from there, actually, I met Burkan, who was subscribing to that analysis. And since then, we've become great friends. And we launched Biyond. Burkan himself is a decorated software engineer. He's worked on Wall Street in M&A, and he has basically been the backbone of designing the indicators behind Biyond. And one of the reasons that we have kind of merged together is because my experience as a trader and his experience as a software engineer, it's like the perfect combination. I think the world that we live in now, there needs to be some type of framework behind your trading methodologies. And that's really what we try to create with myself and Burkan. Burkan himself is a very accomplished trader anyway, but, for me to really improve my decision making, we've kind of added the quant element to it, and that's really the fusion there that makes Biyond so special, really. And it's not just that. We also have a hedge fund as a service. For me, I'm always skeptical about maybe some people that offer advice or research, because I often think to myself, well, if they're so great, why are they offering this service themselves? Are they clearly so they're clearly not making any money as a trader, so they've had to launch this type of thing. And thankfully and honestly, that's not the case with us. We've got a successful hedge fund practice. We're managing a very large client's money over in Turkey, and that continues to do well and thrive. And we've launched the market intelligence platform, and that really complements what we're doing. And I defy anybody who will say to me that it's not a smart move for any business person to be involved in the AI crypto sector. So that's why we've basically started Biyond, because we feel it is a smart move. It's obviously a growing space, and it complements our hedge fund service. So we're trading anyway, so why not do it? And also we're helping people uh, along the way to do that. So there's obviously a little bit of good karma involved, and so on and so forth. So that's kind of the basic principles of why we started Beyond. I'm obviously going over many things that have happened in between, but that's really the basic principles. And I think something that I want to say is that if you have any questions or you want to speak to us, I think the best way to probably do it is on Discord. If you're a bit shy like me, maybe you want to reach out to us privately and ask questions. But there's definitely, various segments there. If you want to ask about a cryptocurrency, if you want to talk about cryptocurrencies in general, there's lots of different channels there for you to go on. So I'd highly encourage you to do that. And you could also email me or Birkin if you feel that there's anything you want to talk about the account that you hold, or anything crypto related. And like I say, it's a friendly community. We're on there quite often. Myself and Birkin, maybe we talk about trading 100 times together because we're obviously managing money together. So it's just a natural transgression for us to put our trading ideas and where we think the market is going onto Discord. A little bit about my trading style. Before I go really too deep in with it, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a broad overview of how I see the market, and then I'll go onto the platform and show you what I do. So basically, if I was to try to categorize what I do and the segments that I look for, I look at on-chain data. It's been incredibly helpful for me. And to be honest with you, when I was involved in foreign exchange trading, all I had was my experience and a price chart, and the element of on-chain analysis, giving me heads up about people like whales and when there's big movements on chain and things like that. It's been incredibly helpful to me, and it's something that I've incorporated many times. And if you've been following me for a while, you'll see that it's really paid off dividends. Sentiment analysis, of course, because many of the major tops or local or whatever tops you want to call, they tend to come when we see sentiment highs and sentiment lows. So it's always a smart idea to incorporate that in the analysis. And also price action. I'm a huge price action watcher. I probably much to my detriment, I probably look at Bitcoin about 18 hours a day, the price action, and maybe one or two altcoins in there. So I'm always looking at it, what's been going on. And I've been watching the market for nearly 20 years now, like currencies and other commodities and cryptocurrencies obviously have been around, not as long as those, but I've definitely been able to study price action, and it's led me to believe that each cryptocurrency has its own particular behavior. It's telling me whether it's going to go up, it's going to go down, or whatever. So that's why I really like price action. It's really given me a good heads up over the years. Patterns, I certainly incorporate that. Um, Mainly for targets and like future projections where the price could go to form a pattern and so on and so forth. I keep it very fluid. I don't live by them. I just kind of again, it gives you a heads up. And crucially, the indicators that we've got, I really swear by Vanguard and Atlas, and I hope today it's going to make you understand them more. Again, Birkin's a fantastic um, designer of these indicators, and what he's done it has been like nothing short of spectacular. And like for me, he will tell you if you ask him personally, it took me absolutely ages for me to agree to start to incorporate these into my analysis. I'm a very stubborn person, very rigid. Not in terms of trading, but in terms of bringing new things into my life. If I think something's working, I don't want to change it. But it's really opened my eyes up in terms of what he's created with Vanguard and Atlas. And I'm not just saying that because it's our indicators. I'm saying that because they're there, and like I use them and I put them into my newsletters because they work. So it's kind of as simple as that. So those are the main things that I look at. There's probably some things here that I'm missing, but on a general day-to-day basis, things like leverage position and liquidations, I'll probably look at, and pivot points and so on and so on. But these are the general things that I like to live by and incorporate into my uh, analysis. So in terms of me as a trader, I guess I'm known as Mr. Patient. I'm going to probably infuriate, or I have infuriated quite a few people with my patience over the years. Medium and long-term trades, I don't give them out very often. I can often sit there for a couple of months and not give a signal, but when I do give a signal, um, I guess you want to pay attention, and that's the way I like to keep it. Every year, I'm looking for a non-leverage return of around 10 to 40%. Don't let that put you off if you're someone here who's looking for more, because some years I wildly exceed that, but I'm extremely cautious. I've sat next to enough traders um, who would eat themselves if they were made of chocolate, and then they all blow up their accounts when they start making money. So I tried to keep a level head. I tried to keep things realistic. I want to make money every year, but I don't want to take any stupid risks. And I try to identify um, the best risk reward trades, and that's as simple as I could really put it. I'm looking for trades that if I get into that position and they can make 4 to 1 in terms of risk reward, so they're going to make 4 times what I'm risking, sometimes even more than that. I've had crazy ones like 8 to 1 and 10 to 1, and that's what I look for all day long. But if you're smart, you'll recognize that that doesn't happen every day. And if you're even smarter, you'll know that you can't trade the market every day. Nobody can. There's no person that I've ever met who can do it on any type of decent money, who can be in the market every single day. So trend trading for me is the way forward, and accompanying by the indicators that we've got. And again, I've really gravitated to become a medium to long term trader, uh, especially as the capital that we trade gets larger every year. I'm honestly only looking 20 to 40% every year, and can have a nice life. And again, I can sleep at night. We're not looking for massive uh, leverage trades and short-term trading. I offer short-term signals every now and then, but it's got to be perfect. And if you've been doing this for a long time, and there's lots of people following us now, so I want to keep my reputation intact. And if you're doing short-term trading, believe me, you get a couple of losses in a row, and you can soon start to rack up some hate mail when people don't really see the big picture that you're going to make money for them over the long term, just because you've had 2 stop outs in a row and you've been making money for the last 10 years every year. If you have 2 bad signals, somebody can get upset, and so on and so forth. So we take incredible amount of care with the short-term signals that we issue. And again, and the things that we say, we try to put as much deep thought into it as we can as possible. In terms of altcoins, this is fluid, but for me, I like to put something um, in the region of 5 coins that I look at this year, even though it's got Litecoin there. I think that Litecoin is probably something that I'm not going to be trading. Chainlink, Ripple, Ethereum, Binance Coin, Solano. Yes, I'm incredibly interested in them, and I watch them every day. And uh, to be honest with you, if it was up to me, I'd only trade 2 or 3 coins. But because there's such a demand for it, we start to look at other coins, and that's why Birkin has incorporated as well. Beyond Atlas gives signals generated to our subscribers. For somebody who wants more short-term action, you can get signals from Atlas delivered to you. In terms of influence, I don't let anybody influence me. I don't care what anybody says. I'm not following anybody. I'm my own person, and as far as I'm aware, the only way that I can get better as a trader is by understanding the mistakes I've made so that I don't make them again. If anybody has a better way, nobody's could probably tell me different in that regard. If I'm living on dying on someone else's opinion, then that means I've learned nothing. And that's why I think for me, when I started, I had to keep my mouth shut and my ears opened, and I listened to people who've been making money every year. And I wouldn't even believe them if they told me they were making money every year. I'd have to see their accounts. I'd have to see what type of lifestyle they're living in order to believe them. And that was when in the FX days. So, people can talk big in trading about all the money that they're making, but believe me, very few are making money every single year in a big way. So I don't follow anybody but myself. And like I say, I've got a trader from the 1930s called Jesse Livemore. I thoroughly encourage you to read his book, A Reminiscence of a Stock Operator. I think it's the best book that's ever been written about trading in terms of price action and mindset. So I thoroughly encourage you to look at that. Um, Again, we've got it here, the AI indicators that we're developing. I'm going to continue to put them in my trading style, but at the moment, Atlas and Vanguard are really the daddies in terms of the things that I'm looking at. And in terms of my strategy, as strange as it may sound now, I try to look 2 or 3 moves ahead. What does that mean? I'm already looking at what Bitcoin's going to do when it gets to 140 and what it's going to do after I think it does whatever it does from 140. And that's the way I've always traded, trying to predict what the market's going to do 2 or 3 moves ahead. I'm not going to come on here and say nobody does it better than me, but That has always put me in good stead, looking ahead, not particularly interested in the daily dope of what the market does today or whatever. I'm always thinking about the bigger picture, not the news headlines or the FOMO or the FUD or whatever. You know what I mean? The bigger picture is always in my mind. And again, if I can make 50% for year, not only for us but our subscribers, then I think I'm doing a pretty good job, especially if it's non-leveraged. And with that said, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a snapshot of some of the things that I've done. So last year, I had a trading idea, and I've been on TV and talked about this. And anybody who's subscribed will also attest to this. So if you can see this red box, we were trading inside this upper red channel here. And I hypothesized that the market, if I take it back, actually, if you can see from 2021 to 2022, this head and shoulders pattern here. So this red line here is the neckline of the head and shoulders pattern. And when it dropped, the market collapsed. So at the time in 2024, I predicted after we moved above this line, we were going to move to the next symmetrical line above it, which was denoted by the two key tops that we'd made, I think around 64 and 69,000. So that is what I was predicting. If the bottom held, we were just simply going to go to there just based on experience and trend line reading. And that's what we did. And we called a fantastic trade, I think from 60,000 up to about 95,000. And needless to say, we had a great year. We put our subscribers in that trade. Did we have some sleepless nights? Oh, yes, we did. But we got there in the end. And if we have a look at the year before, 2023, we were in the bear market. There was this key swing high here. The market was consolidating. It had formed this key trend line. I said, if we break above the trend line, the market is going to explode and it's going to head towards the neckline of the pattern. 26,000 we went long, and we chickened out, I think, at about 30%, pretty close to the target. And that was a trading idea for 2023. So you can see there's a method behind the madness. It's all there, fully transparent. This year, what am I expecting and what have I been saying? So I think in December, again, it's all documented. And I was saying that the market had two scenarios. We were either going to go into a wild bull market, and we were going to just simply head higher towards 140,000, or we were going to pull back towards the breakout area around about 73 to 75,000. So how did we manage that position? We managed it in two ways. I think about half of our portfolio, we tried to get in at around 100,000, except in case the market went away from us. And the rest of our portfolio, we saved in case we were right about the pullback. We managed to get in at around 80,000, and now we're sitting pretty comfortably, and we're waiting for the upside objective of 139,000 to be met. So that is what we're looking at this year. And again, you can see there's a method to my madness. And in case you're wondering, if we break above that top trend line, Bitcoin is likely to go parabolic. And if you're long Bitcoin, your life is probably going to be significantly better because the market move will probably be equivalent to the red bottom line to the top green line. And that's all I will say for now. Before I pass things back to Burkan, if you'll allow me, I'm just going to go onto the website, and I want to show you just a few things about the platform. So I'm just going to go on there now. Okay, sorry about that. I'm never keen on removing the what I'm recording and going on the slide. So yeah, here's a Biyond platform, and just in case you're not aware, every day put out a daily newsletter, and this is my honest thoughts about where the market's going. I don't sugarcoat anything. Some people want to know about where the market goes on a day-to-day basis. Again, I think that's a bit of a folly, but some people are interested in that type of stuff. So I write about what the market is doing on a day-to-day basis. I talk about my current projections. I might talk about other cryptocurrencies sometimes, and also some of the interesting things we follow, like DMARC and on-chain data and stuff like that. So it's a very good newsletter that I put out. And also I have the weekly webinar, which I'll show you in a moment, but I also have the weekly newsletter. This is kind of a thoughts about what our indicators are currently saying, and it just lets you know basically what our key indicators are saying going into the next week. In case you're on holiday or something, in case you missed everything, then you can simply just go on the weekly and you can see what our indicators are doing. But hopefully today you'll be able to read them much better. In terms of the video section, you can see also our market recordings and here introductions to Biyond, and also on the broadcasts you can catch our recordings, and also the Trade Blotter. I just want to discuss this briefly before I turn things over to Burkan. The Trade Blotter is basically where the signals are. So there's two signals coming in. You've got obviously our automated signals from our quant models, and with my picture, these are the signals that I've got here. So if we talk about the recent Bitcoin signal, you'll see it here. It's pending. What does pending mean? It means that if I've set the entry lower than the price, it has to reach the entry in order for the signal to be activated. I put it in about 104, 100, which is the key area that we've identified. If we get a strong pullback, there's actually, I would say, quite a high chance that we don't get a pullback. And me and obviously the team are going to have to make a decision about if we move the entry higher and keep the stop loss there and the target. There's a few things that we have to consider, but this is basically what happens when you see pending. It means it's not activated yet, but there's signals on there for me which are activated, and you'll see them there lit up in green. And I have also got various segments there, so medium term signals, which I much prefer, and also I've got long-term signals on there. And I just want to say as well, I forgot that on my newsletters I discuss any new short-term signals or current, and also I discuss medium and long-term signals on there that I have going. And like the long-term signal is obviously expected to go significantly higher. So there's really not a lot that I can say about that every day unless my views change. But the medium and short-term signals, I'll sometimes give a little bit of commentary about that, especially if I've added any new signals. And if you're wondering here today, when is Nathan going to issue some new altcoin signals, I'm just going to say Nathan's going to issue some altcoin signals when Nathan thinks that there's no chance of them pulling back. So as you can see at the moment, the market's a bit choppy, and we need to be incredibly careful if we're going to issue any new short-term signals, because it's very easy to get stopped out. I need to see multiple things happening. So at the risk of talking too much, I'm now going to turn this back to Burkan. Burkan, over to you.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Nathan. I'll share my screen. Wanted to talk a bit about our quantitative mindset and framework. First things first, I want to talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin, if you look at the history, as far as returns, it is the greatest investment asset class in human history. Its median Sharpe is above 2. And there is no such asset in the world. And NVIDIA gets close to Bitcoin, but it cannot beat it. The problem with Bitcoin is it's so volatile that in bear markets, you can end up 80% of your capital. It is so volatile and it's dangerous. But we love Bitcoin, and I follow it religiously per se, and I try to build our models around actually with the goal of minimizing the drawdowns. So Sharpe ratio of 2 is tremendously high. If Bitcoin has more than 70% drawdowns over the years, institutions are hesitant to get into this asset class. As it stabilizes over the years, it will be much more attractive asset class, but the sharp rate won't be as high. So our thesis, actually, our goal is to minimize the drawdowns in the crypto assets and minimize the drawdowns down to 20 to 30%, and somewhat achieve a sharp ratio that will be a tremendous winning asset class. So our main thesis in Beyond Research and Development is try to achieve a sharp ratio over 2, achieve a target IRR yearly returns over 400%, and a maximum drawdown around 30%. If we can get these through quantitative and AI-based trading, that means we are doing a great job. So that is the focus. That's our focus on the quantitative side of trading. We try to keep the draw low and try to keep returns high and sharp ratio to 2 and up to. So what does a sharp ratio mean? For those of you who heard about the Sharpe ratio for the first time, Sharpe ratio is a way to measure the risk-adjusted return of an investment or a trading strategy. When you look at these numbers, if there is a Sharpe ratio on a strategy below, it's not that difficult to achieve that. Anything above 1 it's good. Anything above 2 is very good. It's hard to get that, actually. And anything above 3 is very rare. Quantitative funds are able to achieve above 3.0 Sharpe ratio. Those are Millennium, very top quantitative hedge funds in the world who can achieve above 3.0 Sharpe ratio. One of our 2 models developed internally, we have Sharpe ratios just near 2 and above 2. But as I mentioned, our primary goal is to try to reach these levels and minimize drawdowns down to 20 to 30%, especially in Bitcoin and other altcoin assets. So when we look at Beyond Atlas, it has a Sharpe ratio of 1.65. It is not as attractive. We used to trade Beyond Atlas, but we no longer do quantitatively. We coin it Vanguard because 1.65 is not as attractive to us as before. Now that we can achieve Sharpe ratios above 2. However, though, Beyond Atlas is a tremendous discretionary tool. It helps us identify oversold and overbought levels. It predicts these conditions. It is advantageous because it's more frequent than widely used crypto indicators such as 200-week moving average, MVRV, hold waves. It's factor-based. It only looks blockchain data. It actually follows money flows and capital flows in blockchain that helps us understand when crypto assets are overbought or oversold. As you know, crypto assets, they don't have balance sheets or revenues. I mean, they do, some of them, like some altcoins and some projects. There are certain ways to understand their revenue streams, but Bitcoin doesn't. So there is only one way to identify that Bitcoin is overvalued and oversold. Actually look at the blockchain data. So we rely on Beyond Atlas heavily. We think it has weaknesses. It is predictive, but it lacks trend changes. It could have multiple weeks of drawdown. And only applicable for Bitcoin and Ethereum ecosystems at the moment, because we drive our data from the blockchain, and the other blockchains like Solana, AVAX, they mostly are smaller compared to Bitcoin and Ethereum, and it's really hard to rely on data that we gather from these blockchains. So when we look at Beyond Atlas, when the index is in the red region, it's bearish. When it's in the green region, it's bullish. However, the direction of the index is extremely important. If the index is moving up, that means there's a bearish momentum in the market. When it's moving down, there is a bullish momentum in the market. So when we get into the green zone, we stay in position, even though it turns upwards and starts increasing until it gets out of the green zone. The market could be still bullish, but the momentum is decreasing. So the direction of the index is telling us whether the momentum is decreasing or increasing in the market. So we will, as you follow us and as you follow Biyond Atlas, we'll guide you through how to use this indicator. But it's extremely important that when we get into the green zone, we should take profits. When it turns back and when it starts losing momentum, that's when we start taking profit. And vice versa, when it is in the red zone, we try to stay away from the market when it's in the red zone. And when it turns and the index starts decreasing, then we start getting into position to get ready for a bullish momentum and bull market. When you look at the Biyond Atlas trade track record, we actively publish Biyond Atlas signals. It's still quite impressive. As a yearly around 90%. It uses 2 times leverage. It has a pretty good win rate. Pretty satisfied with the performance of Biyond Atlas, but we mostly did the discretion to rather quantitative automated trading tool. Because as I said, we combine Biyond Atlas and Vanguard, we're able to get much higher Sharpe ratio with much higher returns. When we look at where we are Biyond Atlas today, it's currently in the neutral zone. So we don't know where it will move. It could move up, down. It's pretty neutral. So Biyond Atlas is currently telling us to stay in cash unless we start seeing next moving down towards the green zone. Then we'll look into for an entry point to bullish. Nathan we've been really bullish during times. We are just looking for an entry and hoping that not last turn downwards. When we look at Vanguard weekly, as you can see, the Sharpe ratio of Vanguard weekly is 5. It's very high. The problem with Vanguard weekly, it doesn't create or it doesn't issue signals that often. Because it doesn't issue signals on a daily basis, it's not frequent, the returns are not as high. It provides high conviction for trend following. It has a really good high win rate, low drawdown, and can optimize for all crypto assets, not like Biyond Atlas. Biyond Atlas is for only Bitcoin and Ethereum ecosystems. The weaknesses of Vanguard is preventive, but not predictive as Biyond Atlas. It's not factor-based, it's not blockchain-based. And Sharpe ratio is low for coins with small market cap. So unfortunately, Vanguard only works for large coins, large market cap coins, or large high volume coins. Currently, these are the color set on time frames, on different time frames of Vanguard. As I mentioned, Vanguard is optimized. It could be used for all asset classes, but it is optimal for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Sui, XRP, and BNB. If you guys are following any particular coin and wants us to optimize that coin for Vanguard, we could certainly do that. We have a pipeline of requests, so we'll put them in the pipeline and get it done for you and optimize it and on the platform. Vanguard weekly and 3-day have the highest and the best risk reward ratio. However, 8-hour and 12-hour have high enough Sharpe ratios, and they produce actually better returns because they trade more frequently than the 3-day and 1 week. Firefly Alpha, we use it for position timing, but as the challenger indicator we just released a couple of weeks ago, I think is a much better tool to time the market. We will probably slowly retire Firefly Alpha and replace it with Challenger. I'll talk more about that in a second. Cannonade indicator is based on Vanguard. It picks up momentum for all coins in our system. and gives you issue signals, momentum signals. So if you are following a particular coin, you should try to catch these momentum signals on Vanguard. It does it on 4-hour, 6-hour, 8-hour, 12-hour, 1-day, 3-day, and weekly. So every time a candle closes, it measures the momentum. And if there is a signal, it will issue it on the platform. So I don't want to get too much into detail at the moment, but if you have any questions, please shoot us on Discord. We have some altcoin pages that's try to combine, get all that info, all the information we have on our platform, including news, Vanguard, Challenger. Yeah, we try to get all the information for you on one page for a specific coin. So what we did is we have so much research completed on in our company that we decided to write a white paper or a guide. We called it the Quantitative Investment Framework. It's on our platform. You could read about it, but then we realized this is actually so complicated. The rule set is so big that is really very difficult to trade based on these rules. We do it because we understand our indicators, but for a newcomer, this is just very difficult. So what we decided to do, we took all this research and started training AI. So we called it Nirmata. So what we do is we feed ChatGPT and Claude and also now Gemini. We feed all the information we have in our system and the guides and the framework and the news and Nathan's and everything. We push all that data to ChatGPT, and we tell the rules, and we tell ChatGPT or Gemini to just summarize all the data and our framework for a specific question that's coming from the user. So that was the goal of Nirmata, basically to help you to, instead of memorizing all these frameworks or all these indicators, how they work, we teach Nirmata to answer that question for you. So that's the main goal for this. It's only text for now, but in the coming months, we want to have Nirmata produce voice and also video charting resistance and support areas, the targets. So we hope this is going to be really a cool tool going forward. Recently, we had a Challenger. This is Challengers. We got inspired from DeMark indicator, and I designed a Challenger for it. It tries to pick up oversold and overbought levels for short-term traders and also long-term, but it's very effective in short-term as well. It's based on Fibonacci-based trading data. On every candle, it starts counting up until 100. When it reaches 100, it issues a signal. That means the market is overbought or oversold. If it is oversold, it generates a dark green or blue 100 index signal, and it's quite effective. I currently follow it tremendously. I made really successful trades using Challenger, and I hope you learn how to use it as well. Ask me questions if you need to. And what I did is when I started grouping the signals on all the coins that we follow in our platform, it became even more effective. For example, last Friday, before the bombing of Iran energy nuclear facilities by Trump, all the coins were just getting degraded down to to current low levels, and all our coins and Challenger were just coming down on a daily basis. So, and actually on Friday, June 20th and 21st, all the coins that we have in our system started hitting 100. And the next day, market started bouncing. So I think it just Challenge started is catching the market momentum or oversold levels, overbought levels pretty quickly. So I'm very happy with this indicator. There is still a lot of things that I want to do or we want to do to improve this Challenger indicator and help you manage your trading experience. But so far so good, and hopefully will improve the user interface as well. So that is why we still have Challenger in beta. We've come up with a new product or service called Hawkeye. We hired a new great fundamental analyst who just joined our team. You'll meet her soon. She started following altcoins, small coins, small cap, early stage projects, and she started posting that on under around Hawkeye. Hopefully, these coins with strong fundamentals will bring in really good returns in the coming years. So these are real long-term investment, venture cap type of style that we try to follow and bring this service to you guys. Hopefully, this product still in beta will prove itself over time. And we also started publishing alpha brief reports on the coins that we really like. We like the fundamentals, small or large, and we aim to come up with these reports or produce these reports on a monthly basis, minimum one, maximum at the moment because we have 2 reports. And we try to we don't like write reports. We want to just make it short, brief, right to the point with a signal on it, with a long-term view. I think these reports will we think it's going to help our subscribers to get a better view on what we like and what we don't like and what are the strong coins out there. Upcoming features, we are going through our more roadmap, our next big project, or we are the development we are trying to complete our mobile app. Understand people, everybody is dependent on mobile phones. We are trying to get ourselves to you through your mobile phones. We finished our development of the mobile app. It should be released soon on Android. We months ago we deployed. We released our application on iOS, Apple iOS developer platform. It got rejected because Apple forced us to include subscription module on their store. So they are forcing us to actually put the app for sale or so that people can subscribe to it through making payments. We didn't think we will need that because we thought this service will be just for our paid subscribers, and we didn't need to release or receive payments from over the app. But Apple is forcing us to do it, so it takes a while to develop a new subscription module into the app. So that is why it's taking a bit longer. Long story short, in the coming weeks, we want to get our app out there on both Google, Android, and Apple Store. And by the end of the year, we want to release Nirmata 2.0 with additional features, including voice and charting. And into the 2026, we want to have our models to be automatically traded on our subscribers' accounts remotely. We are working on getting licenses around on appropriate regions. Currently, we cannot do that in the United States, but that's where we are established at the moment. But once we open our offices in Dubai and other crypto-friendly countries, will release this feature as well. And hopefully we are going to have our token. I'm not sure whether we can get that done by this year, but hopefully in 2026, if the bull market is still on. Again, mobile app is in the works, coming soon. Nirmata, we are going to have it in audio, video, and charting. That's what we are working on. Currently, we have a lifetime offer for AppSumo under AppSumo platform. We wanted to do this to grow our community. The community is, I think, our new business model is to be community driven. So that's our goal, is to increase number of subscribers we have and number of followers. That is why we gave this tremendous discount on AppSumo, and we see a lot of value from our subscribers. So yeah, that was the whole goal. If you like what we do, if you like our service, please leave us reviews so that other people can find out about us. And that's pretty much it. Nathan, anything that you want to add?
Um, no, I'd just like to say thank you to everybody who's been with us to the beginning and like from the beginning rather, and everybody who's joined us. Yeah, I think interesting times ahead in crypto. And yeah, hopefully this year we're going to see a much higher market. It seems like it's taking its time, but yeah, hopefully we'll get there in the end. I do believe, Birkin, that we've got a question come in regard to Challenger. So if it's all right, I'll let you address that.
I'm trying to find the question. Can you read it to me? I could not find it.
Yeah, basically, is it possible to add a chapter about Challenger and other new improvements to the quantitative framework? I believe you might be muted, Birkin.
I apologize, Nathan. Can you please repeat that? You got cut off. My
Yeah,
mistake.
yeah. Sorry. I've got a question here asking about Challenger and if it's possible that you're going to add about the improvements to Challenger and anything else to the quantitative framework. Are you going to eventually add that there?
Oh yeah. That's I think that question was asked on Discord as well. Yeah, I'm still working on the Challenger to I'm trying to improve the user interface and I'm trying to trade Challenger. So as I trade, I'm trying to understand the weaknesses of it, and still need to do back testing and I need to Challenger signals alongside with Vanguard and Beyond and optimize it. Once it is all done and I can prove myself that Challenger is a good complementary tool to our quantitative framework, then I can run the tests, back tests, and create the Sharpe ratios or calculate the Sharpe ratios. And if they're attractive enough, then I'll add it to our quantitative framework so that we have proof that it is working. Otherwise, I'm still in beta version, and I don't know whether it's a complementary to our framework or not. So far, so good. I like it. I use it, but I cannot prove it with data. So I need to see the data before I can put it in.
Okay, great. We've also got another question from Carlos. He's asking where we can see today's recording.
Oh, we'll our people is gonna edit it, optimize it, or put brands on it, and it should be on YouTube too. That's what I think it will be published
Uh,
to tomorrow.
Okay, I've got another question coming. What is the most useful, direct, and sure way to use the platform for a usually long-term holder, as in safe as possible with patience if need be? Do you want to tackle that one, Birkin, or do you want me to go for that?
Please do. You are better at it.
Yeah. I would say, to be honest with you, I would look at Vanguard very closely as a key directional instrument on the weekly time frame. So if you can combine that um, with the most severe signals. So, i.e., if you start to see red on Vanguard, then that's generally a very bad sign on the weekly time frame, and that could often hint that we're going to see like a strong downturn. Orange is your warning sign. So, I would say implement Vanguard in there. Unfortunately, Atlas isn't optimized for anything else except for Bitcoin and Ethereum. So, the ultimate for us is to put Atlas and Vanguard together. So in the absence of that, and depending what coin that you're looking at, I would like on a very layman's terms basis, I would use Atlas in terms of blue and sorry, as in green as your strong buy signals and also red as your warning sign. And obviously the 2.0 model that we have on TradingView is um is also something that's going to serve you well because it will front run the actual weekly closes, and sometimes it can give you a real heads up about when the moves are going to happen. Another question coming in, if that's a sufficient answer. In future, will you be allowing the indicators to be added to platforms like TradingView using Pine script, Birkin?
Vanguard currently is supported under TradingView. Beyond Atlas is not, because Beyond Atlas is only solely reliant on the blockchain data, and we cannot link TradingView into blockchain. But Vanguard is actually in TradingView, and actually Challenger can be there as well. Challenger is not reliant on blockchain data; is only price driven. So we put that on TradingView. Yeah.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Burkin. Yeah, I guess if there's no more questions, all I can say is thank you very much for your trust in us. And yeah, with that, thanks very much for joining today, and watch out for the recording on the platform. And like I say, don't feel shy to reach out on Discord if you need to reach us.
Thank you very much. See you guys
Thank you.
around.
Thank you. Bye.